Indicio recently announced a new Proven Mobile SDK, which enables any organization to build digital wallet functionality right into their existing applications. This allows any application to hold and share verifiable credentials, which leads to faster, more secure data sharing and a better experience for the end user. This conversation is more technical in nature with the engineer that built the solution. To learn more about the SDK in general, you can watch our original video on it. Link will be in the description. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Identity Insights by Indicio. I'm your host, Tim Spring, and I am joined today by the Indicio team that built the new Proven Mobile SDK, Patrick Kenyon and Kolby Kunz. Thank you both for joining me today. Would you mind starting us off with just a little bit about yourselves?
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm Patrick Kenyon. I've been with Indicio for about 3 years now as a mobile engineer. Work mostly on like the lower level concepts of the libraries and applications that we develop. And yeah, that's it about me.
And yeah, I'm Kolby Kunz. I've been here just about 2 years here in a couple weeks. Been mostly working back end and lower end features alongside Patrick, and it's been a blast so far.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both taking the time to speak with me here today. As a quick reminder for the audience, if you could break down just what is an SDK quickly for us.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like a SDK stands for like software development kit. But like to make it more specific, oftentimes if you have a feature that someone wants to implement in an app, an SDK will just be like a library or something focused on implementing that specific feature in other applications.
All right, sounds good. So for the Proven Mobile SDK, it implements features of Proven and digital wallet functionality specifically, correct?
Yeah, decentralized
Yeah.
identity and all that.
All right, sounds good. So I'm curious, right, as the team behind it, what problem were you really given to solve that led to the creation of the SDK?
Well, I think for one, the big thing was we had resources that were limited just to React Native, and we really wanted to be able to target native applications and also go from taking native applications and targeting other frameworks like React Native or Flutter that can consume native code and get it all in one place and one solid API that everyone can work with.
Okay. Sorry, Patrick, did you have anything to add to that answer?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, because like the alternative would be they would have to use multiple other libraries across multiple different apps, like if they're trying to use a different platform. So say they're developing for Android native and iOS native, they would have to get two separate applications or libraries that don't exactly always line up. And so with ours, it does line up across all platforms we support.
All right, that's super cool. That makes it sound a lot simpler to actually implement than having to go track down what exact code base you need. So how did you approach, right? You're given this problem. All right, we want everything in kind of one place. What was your approach and how did you get started with the actual build?
That was a lot, and we sat down for a long time with team leads and had a lot of discussion, multiple meetings of what are we going to do. And I think originally we set out and we're like, hey, we're going to have to develop this in Kotlin for Android and Swift for iOS, and we're going to have to try to make sure that they mirror each other and do a lot of stuff. And we ended up finding a solution where we could develop just in one code base and cross compile to another. And that really made it a lot simpler for us to be able to have like a unified API or application interface so that everything was the same, whether you were on Android or iOS developing and using this SDK.
All right. So generally speaking, to follow up on that, because this is kind of what I heard, is it should work on just about any application, any platform that you have. Is that pretty much correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, yeah, I can definitely see how that would be super useful, and I'm glad that you two, have kind of done the work for everyone to benefit from. I'm curious, besides obviously being able to kind of speak in any language, are there any features you're particularly proud of or are currently working on that you're excited about for the mobile SDK?
One of the features about the SDK that I'm happy about that we've recently done is the React Native wrapper because we were able to take our SDK and prove that it works in both iOS and Android with React Native. And we were also able to create the API, like the API of the SDK stays the same between Android, iOS, and React Native. And so if you're building a different application or like using a different platform, you only have to learn the SDK once and it stays the same. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Kolby? Is that pretty much what you're particularly proud of as well?
I'm particularly proud of the proofs module. Proofs, as far as a decentralized identity concept, is a very difficult concept to develop for. And there is a lot of pitfalls that can come with it. And I feel like our solution to get there is fairly robust. It's a little verbose on the end consumption, but it gives the user a lot of power for being able to submit proofs and fulfill proof requests. So I was pretty proud of getting that one through the finish line.
All right, nice. And could you break down, sorry, just in case people aren't familiar with the term proofs, what do you mean when you say proofs in this context?
Yeah, so for decentralized identity, once you have gone and you've received a credential from some other entity and you have your information encoded in that credential, a proof request is another entity requesting that you submit proof that you hold that credential. And there's a lot that goes on with it, with checking the ledger for transactions and providing correct information, correct hashes and everything to verify that that information that you're giving them from that credential is correct and came from the issuing authority that gave it to you. And that is the really powerful thing about decentralized identity, is being able to do those proofs and know that the information is correct.
Absolutely. So we're coming to the end of our time here, guys, but I'm curious, right? Obviously, you spent a lot of time developing this. I'm curious, who would be kind of the target audience for this? Who would you recommend is really, either using it or checking it out and kind of see how cool it really is?
I would say target audience would be anyone who is looking to implement decentralized identity features into either an existing app or a brand new app. And what's nice is it could be any app because we support basically any platform. So yeah, just anyone really.
Yeah, more platforms to come too. Future support for more platforms is planned.
All right, awesome. Would you be able to tease any of those platforms or no?
I think for sure in the future, we're looking at Flutter right now and potentially a couple others. So
yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, I appreciate you both taking the time to speak with me again today. If you at home are interested in learning more about verifiable credential technology, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to bring you some more educational content. If you have any specific questions or topics, please be sure to comment below. We'll be sure to read and address them. Thank you again to you, Kolby and Patrick. If you would like to learn more, where would you suggest they look?
head over to the Indicio website, indicio.tech, and you can find some contact information there to reach out to sales team or support staff.